This is the quietest and greenest car rally that you've seen as yet. Welcome to the Green Mumbai Drive 2021. It's a first of its kind event because with us today are all the electric cars on sale in India at the moment and some that are going to go on sale in the days and years to come. What also makes this drive special is that we're going to be driving to the green lungs of Mumbai, the places that keep us revitalized and the places we frankly don't visit often enough. We're grateful to the government of Maharashtra for their support for this event, so join us for the drive. The Mahalaxmi Race Course, itself an oasis of green in South Mumbai, was the start point of the drive that would take us to the Sanjay Gandhi National Park, Aarey Forest and the mangroves at Vikhroli. And standing quiet and confident at the venue were all the electric cars on sale in India. In order of their launches, we had the Hyundai Kona Electric, MG ZS EV, Tata Nexon EV, Mercedes-Benz EQC, Jaguar I-Pace, Audi e-tron, Tata Tigor EV and Audi e-tron GT. Representative of the ever-expanding electric car market, the soon-to-be-launched Volvo XC40 Recharge and Tesla Model X were also in attendance. The day's proceedings started with a pledge to go green. As Horma Sorabji, editor Autocar India, put it in his welcome address, the drive was as much a showcase of how far EVs have come as it is of Mumbai's green pockets.
We're going to be doing about 100 plus kilometers. There's this whole thing about range, but just to show that you can do it comfortably on one charge, there's no worry about range, especially for driving in a city like Mumbai. Also, there's a perception that Mumbai is a concrete jungle and got a lot of traffic, but I can tell you, when you go on this drive, you will not believe you are in the city of Mumbai and certain parts we are going through.
Jeet Adani, director at Adani Electricity, also echoed these views and underlined the group's commitment to green tech.
I think, like you said, I think it's going to be a very special event when we drive through, the lungs of Mumbai. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Us at Adani, we are heavily investing in renewable energy and charging infrastructure for EVs because we think that hydrogen and electric vehicles are going to be the future of mobility. People's mind is that the range is not good, the safety is a question mark. But I think we're at a point today where none of that is true. I think it's absolutely, we are at that critical point where it's going to change the world.
Aditya Thackeray, Maharashtra's Minister of Tourism and Environment, who is championing the cause of green mobility, touched upon his goals towards electrification.
I think, just last month we've had one of the most advanced and progressive policies for EV. We're hoping that there's a greater adoption of EVs in the next 2 years. We're pushing for more. The commitment is by 2022 April, all government vehicles that are newly bought or rented will be electric. So that's where you step in and tell us which are the good vehicles. And, we're looking at raising awareness across the board, across the state and of course outside the state as well, because this is a need for us. We are in the midst of a climate change emergency and something like EVs powered by renewable energy to create the whole ecosystem will be good for us.
Just to understand, you pushed a lot. Can we say that your goal is to make Maharashtra, even Mumbai, the EV capital of India?
The goal is to see by 2025 at least 60% of our vehicles to have green number plates.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
But it's quite ambitious, but
yes.
That's where all of us as key stakeholders of the planet come in.
Right, and just to understand, you've heard people talking about, especially a city like Mumbai, people don't have access to parking. Parking is always a problem, and without parking, you can't have a plug. So, do you think this is also one of the challenges? And do you think it's chicken and egg that first we need the vehicles, then the infra will come, or what is the government doing towards this?
I think it's chicken and egg. Obviously, with the vehicles, infra will grow, and I see a lot of awareness today with the incentives that we've given for charging stations as well. There's a lot of people approaching for our public parking lots to set up EV charging stations. I think that's a great start.
Right. And on a personal note, you like cars, you like electric vehicles. Are you enjoying driving EVs? I'm sure you've driven quite a few of them.
I'm thankful to you because it's the first time I'll be driving in a proper EV on the streets of Mumbai.
With the stage set, the Green Mumbai Drive was a go, featuring over 30 vehicles driven by EV owners as well as car company heads proudly driving their greenest models. Audi's EV range was represented by the e-tron, e-tron Sportback and the stunning e-tron GT 4-door coupe. The strong turnout of EVs sure made a mark on Audi India head Balbir Singh Dhillon.
So I'm super excited to be here today. I think I have a lot more conviction than before that electric is the future, and with every passing day it is only increasing, and it is so wonderful to see so many electric cars here. I think we'll see more and more of them on the road, and thanks to Autocar for organizing this today.
Jaguar is on course to go all electric by 2025, and it's the radical I-Pace that's leading the charge. And as Jaguar Land Rover India head Rohit Suri asserted, Jags will be Jags even in the EV era.
Customers have really, apart from the EV bit, the electric bit, I think the customers have really enjoyed driving this car. We've got some fantastic feedback. Go to our Instagram channel and our Facebook channel, you'll actually see customers speak over there. How customers have really liked driving this car. They love the drive in this car. So I think there's lots going for it. So we are excited actually.
Chief guest Aditya Thackeray also briefly took the wheel of the Tesla Model X, and the glint in his eye said it all. Lending some star power to the convoy was the Mercedes EQC. Here's what Santosh Iyer of Mercedes-Benz India had to say about the future of EVs in India.
Yeah, no, way back in, last year when we started, last year Jan to be precise, when we were introducing, there were a lot of naysayers, whether it's the right time, India is ready, charging infrastructure, and with the huge bookings that we saw now, I think all those questions are put to rest. I think the infrastructure will develop, but I think consumer demand and excitement is there for very good products like the EQC and stuff. So I think we are quite happy and bullish with this growing trend.
The cars might have been silent but sure drew attention through Mumbai traffic. Our man Gavin D'Souza joined in behind the wheel of an Audi e-tron Sportback.
Well, the daily grind sure hits different on a day like today. Here I am on Mumbai's Western Express Highway, which, as many will tell you, is quite a grind if this is your commute. But here today, on this rally, I am surrounded by EVs while driving an EV. In fact, in small pockets of traffic, we might actually be the majority, and that's quite a good feeling. Yes, we're a long way to go from a truly green future, but this is encouraging. Someday, it's all going to look like this: silent, clean, and absolutely green. And this is the first taste of it.
Soon enough, we were at the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. A few quick facts. The national park is 103 square kilometers of forest and forms nearly 20% of Mumbai's geographical area. It's home to 1330 species of plants, 254 species of birds, 78 species of reptiles, and 40 species of mammals. And if you're really lucky, you might just spot a leopard. It's unbelievable that such a place exists amidst the concrete jungle that is Mumbai. A favorite of the city's morning walkers and weekend picnickers, the national park is also closed to vehicles. However, no tailpipe emissions and no engine sounds got us a rare yes from the authorities to drive into the confines of the park towards the Kanheri Caves.
Well, now here's something I didn't expect to be doing on a Saturday morning, and that's driving through Sanjay Gandhi National Park. I haven't been here since I was a kid, frankly. And coming back, I'm happy to report that it's largely the same green, beautiful space I remember it to be. But again, the other difference is being in a convoy of EVs that just makes it so much more special. I mean, here we are, quiet as ever, hushed down this path, and our green number plates sort of fit in quite nicely with this green canopy that we're surrounded by. It's good to know that we aren't disturbing too much of the natural order as we drive through, and that's just a nice wholesome feeling.
Participants had an opportunity to literally breathe the surroundings in. This is the way to experience a place like the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Sunroof open, windows down, breathing in the fresh air. And because it's all silent, you can actually hear the streams in the distance, you can hear the birds chirping. It's just an extraordinary experience to have in the heart of Mumbai. After a fulfilling tour of the Sanjay Gandhi National Park, the cars headed back to the Western Express Highway. EVs might be about low running costs and brisk performance, but it's heartening to know that eco-sensitivity is also driving the move to electric vehicles. Tata Motors knows all too well, having recently delivered its 10,000th Nexon EV. Here's Tata Motors' Vivek Srivatsa.
The response is tremendous, and I think what's driving buyers are obviously the ease of driving, the comfort the EV provides, but most importantly, surprisingly, Indians also are dramatically increasing their awareness about being eco-conscious, eco-friendly, and that's one of the key reasons to buy as well, apart from the fact that it's enjoyable to drive and all that. So when we do our surveys of buyers, they put eco-sensitivity and giving back to nature as one of the big reasons to buy.
Volvo is on a mission to replace fossil power with sustainable energy, and the India-bound and all-electric XC40 Recharge is a sign of things to come.
Volvo Cars completely is focusing on sustainable mobility and climate change, and that's the focus of electrification in India as well. One car every year and getting at the 100% lineup of electric cars by 2030. So we are all geared up for this electric transformation of luxury segment, and more so for Volvo.
And it's not just the car makers but all stakeholders in the automotive ecosystem that are looking to go green.
Our brand represents for the paint protection, and we are also very eco-friendly in terms of what we do for the car. So that's more important. We look at a more eco-friendly drive and mobility in future.
Aarey forest that was at the heart of a storm and was eventually saved from making way for a metro shed not too long ago was the next waypoint for the convoy. Driving on the busy Aarey road isn't what you'd call soothing, but Mumbai sure would have been a lesser place without the green cover Aarey provides. The convoy regrouped at the Adani Electricity Management Institute at Goregaon, where we caught up with Mr. Kandar Patel, CEO of Adani Electricity, who gave a brief on the power supplier's initiatives in the EV space and how he foresees changes in power consumption.
Right now what we are focusing essentially is we wanted to facilitate EV penetration. So whatever support that is required from electricity supply side, we are providing those support to everyone, whether it is EV vehicle manufacturer or EV charging facilitator or users. And eventually we will also expand into EV charging space depending on how things pan out and depending on our strategy internally. We are certainly expecting demand coming from EV, and mostly it is going to be come up in during the night hours, which will not only help the EV user but also electric utility, because during the night hours there is usually a off-peak period, and if EV it is used for EV charging, then it will also help grid and reduce power cost for all customers.
Among the participants at the Green Mumbai Drive was Aditya Karandiker, who'd driven down all the way from Pune.
It was a great drive from Pune, although it was raining over there, but still we managed to get here. And I still have 88 kilometers of range left to go.
So as an EV owner, what do you feel about the range and charging infrastructure issue?
So range is not an issue. I've been using my car for 48,000 kilometers so far. Range is not an issue, but charging infrastructure is not there yet. We are still getting there. It will get better over the time here.
The last stop of the Green Mumbai Drive was certainly not the least. The Vikhroli mangroves, carefully conserved and maintained by Godrej and Boyce, is a world unto itself. For participants, it was a rare privilege to get access to a guarded and fiercely protected ecosystem. While it is known that mangroves moderate extreme events like flash floods and storms by acting as a natural sponge, what's not known is that the standing stock holds the equivalent of 6 lakh tons of carbon dioxide, a key greenhouse gas responsible for global warming and climate change. So, it was with a deep satisfaction then that everyone finished the drive knowing their EVs were not hurting the AQI in the vicinity. Transportation accounts for 30% of our carbon footprint. Hopefully, with green cars and green energy to run them with, that figure will drop sooner rather than later, and we can enjoy our cars with a clean conscience. To the next green drive then.